It's just kind of who I am. I want to pour into my team as much as possible, and I'm pretty in tune with my body. I can read a room pretty well, and so when I see we're lacking a little bit, you got to step up. But if we're good, you're just there to encourage and give people confidence.
Teen Sophie Cunningham reveals what Caitlin Clark is really like. Off the court, Sophie Cunningham just called Caitlin Clark a showdy starter who would absolutely wreck her social media if given the chance. Not joking. The Phoenix Mercury guard went on record saying Clark would be the dead last person she'd trust with her Instagram password. And honestly, that tells you everything you need to know about who Caitlin really is when the cameras stop rolling, because the version of CC you see in press conferences, the one giving polite answers and thanking her teammates, that's not the whole story. Not even close. There's a completely different side to the most talked about player in women's basketball, and it's way more interesting than what you see on ESPN highlights. The carefully crafted image that's been sold to millions of fans doesn't match up with what people who actually know her have been saying. And Sophie just pulled back the curtain in the most entertaining way possible. In a November 2024 interview with Front Office Sports, Sophie didn't hold back. When asked which WNBA player she'd least want running her social media, she immediately said Caitlin Clark, adding 1000% for emphasis. Her reasoning: Clark would start some stuff and cause absolute chaos. Think about that for a second. This is coming from someone who's actually close with her, someone who knows what happens behind closed doors. Sophie's own social media is pretty unfiltered. She posts what she wants and doesn't care what people think. She's gotten into controversies before, said things that made headlines, and never apologized for being herself. So, for her to say Caitlin would take it too far, that's saying something. The rookie sensation who broke every record in college basketball apparently has a side that would make even Sophie Cunningham nervous. And if you've been paying attention to their interactions online, you'd know this isn't just talk. The evidence has been right there in plain sight for months. We just weren't paying close enough attention to what it all meant. Every comment, every joke, every interaction between them has been building toward this moment where Sophie finally said out loud what everyone close to Caitlin already knows. The trolling between these two never stops. Back in August 2024, Sophie posted about visiting a petting zoo and joked that she and the goats smell the same. Caitlin immediately jumped in the comments to agree, because apparently roasting your friends is her love language. Most people would have ignored it or laughed it off privately, but Clark had to make it public, had to let everyone know she agreed with the goat comparison. That's not normal behavior for someone who's supposed to be all about their brand and maintaining a professional image. Then there was the hair incident. Clark went after Sophie's messy bun in an Instagram story, calling it tragic or something along those lines. Sophie clapped back instantly, and the whole thing spiraled into this public roast session that had fans dying in the comments. But here's where it gets interesting. When Sophie posted swimsuit photos during the off-season, Caitlin left a comment telling her to focus on basketball. The internet lost it. Some people thought it was shade. Others said it was hilarious. But anyone who actually follows their friendship knew it was just CC being CC. She's the friend who will say the thing everyone's thinking, but nobody else has the guts to say out loud. During media day, they even joked about being blonde twins, which is hilarious considering they look nothing alike. The point is, this isn't surface-level friendship. This is the kind of bond where you can say anything and the other person knows you're not serious. But that only works when both people are equally unhinged. And based on what Sophie's been saying lately, Caitlin might actually be worse. Their entire relationship is built on this foundation of constant mockery. And it reveals so much about who Clark really is when she's not worrying about her image or sponsorship deals or what casual fans might think. So, what do her actual teammates say about her? Because if you only watch the games, you'd think Clark is this hyper-focused basketball robot who only cares about winning. And sure, that's part of it. But on Sue Bird's podcast, Caitlin herself admitted she's goofy and sees herself as comedic relief in the locker room. Bird seemed shocked, like she couldn't picture it. And that reaction makes sense because the public version of Caitlin Clark doesn't match up with what she was describing. But then coach Lisa Bluto from Iowa backed it up, saying, quote, "She's a complete goof. There's so many weird things she does. Bludder coached her for years. Saw her every single day, and that's the description she gave. Not focused or driven or intense, but goofy, Lexi Hull praised how Cece handles pressure, but also hinted that people don't see the real her. Kelsey Mitchell straight up said fans wouldn't know Caitlin without C², meaning the competitive Clark persona, and Kate Martin, who played with her at Iowa, has endless stories. Clark burning mac and cheese in the dorm, oversleeping on the team bus, doing random impressions that make no sense. This is the same person who gives robotic answers in post-game interviews and acts like she's never had fun in her life. The contrast is wild. Teammates see someone completely different from what the public gets. And that gap between public and private is exactly what Sophie was talking about. When she called Clark a troublemaker, she meant it. The girl who smiles politely during interviews transforms into someone completely different the moment those cameras turn off, and her teammates have been trying to tell us this for months. We just weren't listening. But here's the thing about Sophie and Caitlin's dynamic. It's not just jokes and Instagram comments. Sophie literally got brought to the Indiana Fever in 2025 to be Clark's enforcer for protector on the court, and she took that role seriously. Back in June during a game against the Connecticut Sun, things got physical. DeJohnai Carrington went after Clark, and Sophie immediately aggressively stepped in. She got ejected from the game for defending her teammate, and she didn't care at all, walked off the court with zero regrets. The look on her face said everything. She knew exactly what she was doing and would do it again in a heartbeat. Then in August, Sophie went on a podcast and went off about how Caitlin is the face of the league and doesn't get the respect she deserves. She was legitimately angry, not just saying what sounds good for the media. Her voice was rising, she was getting worked up, and you could tell this wasn't performative. She genuinely believed every word. Other teammates started shielding Clark from getting technical fouls because they knew she'd get suspended if she picked up one more. The girl had 6 techs in her rookie season. 6. That's not normal for someone with her squeaky clean image. Sophie became the enforcer because someone had to. And honestly, it probably made them closer. When you're willing to get ejected for someone, that's real. When you're willing to publicly defend them knowing you'll catch heat for it, that's real. And that's exactly why Sophie knows Caitlin well enough to call her a shot starter without it being disrespectful. Their bond was forged in the heat of competition, in moments where loyalty actually mattered. Not just during photo ops and team dinners. Most teammates talk about having each other's backs, but Sophie actually proved it. And Caitlin saw that, recognized it, and that's why their friendship runs so deep. There are 2 versions of Caitlin Clark. There's the one who smiles for cameras and says the right things. And then there's the one who used the Commissioner's Cup trophy to serve alcohol after winning. Yeah, that happened. The one who almost got suspended during her rookie year because she couldn't stop picking up texts. The one who admitted in interviews that fans only see her competitive side and don't really know her personality. She's talked about struggling to balance her intensity with actually having fun, which makes sense when you think about it. Turning that off is impossible. Sue Bird mentioned that Caitlin's a troll in group chats, which tracks perfectly with everything Sophie's been saying. Bird didn't elaborate much, but the implication was clear. Clark is that person in the group chat who says wild stuff just to see how people react. The one who screenshots conversations and sends them to other people. The one who starts drama and then sits back to watch it unfold. The public sees this polished athlete who broke records and elevated women's basketball. The people who actually know her see someone who can't help but stir things up.